All right. Welcome, my friends. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on notifications so I can be with you forever. I'm going to be leaving my email in the description, so if you want your own personalized tarot reading, astrology chart reading, I also do personalized binaural beats, so if you need help, through guided meditation or any specific, realm of focus or discipline you want to cultivate into your mind and reprogram your mind in certain aspects, then you can hit me up for that, and I can get you a custom-made binaural beat for you. So without further ado, I'm going to start this reading for Libra season. And first I'm going to do a collective reading for everyone. And then we're going to get through the individual signs. So for this season, I'm feeling a lot of, people just, with Virgo, it's like a lot of cleaning shit out. And now it's Libra season, so everything's about harmony. Everything's about balance, about harmonizing things, balance things out. So, for the next coming month, especially with all the harsh transits, Mars in retrograde, this is a lot of time to really focus on yourself, harmonizing your own life and harmonizing relationships, but in a way that's not too forced or hard-edged. I think it's just a time where your relationships with other people should be pretty, I don't want to say shallow, but you should try to keep harmony, not really try to dish out any serious subjects. I think that was more aligned with, like Virgo season of cleaning shit out. Now you kind of just have to set with what you have and just sort of work with what you got. And it's also a time to really be, fair and just and, right-minded with other people as well. And to treat people fairly in that regard, I think, is going to become very important. I feel like if people, just even like quick little jabs, or you're breaking someone's balls, or just, cracking jokes, I think it's going to be taken the wrong way, and you're just going to end up hurting a situation or relationship with someone that's not really to your best benefit. So that's kind of what I'm feeling for the next month here. That's going to be pretty critical for people on an interpersonal basis. In terms of the world at large, it's hard to say where things are going. Things are very unpredictable at the moment. Things are kind of stagnant, especially with Mars retrograde. Things are not moving forward. This is a time for introspection more so. But once that goes direct, that's when we got to be careful and start seeing reality change around us. Things start to be activated in a whole new dynamic. And that's going to only happen in November, I believe, middle of November. So prepare for that. Right now is the inner work, I would say. The preparation for the big show, so to speak. So what do we have for the collective today? All right. Yeah, so definitely picking that up right here is we have the strength reversed. So we're not in our highest strength. We're not in our highest power of discipline, whatever you want to call it. Strength is always from an inner sense. It's not necessarily physical strength. It's a spiritual kind of strength. It's an aspect of, having the spirit or the willpower to push through things. And this is going to be something that we're going to be needing to tap into and refocus on, especially with this Mars retrograde. That's going to be a huge, factor in this. And I'll just say that, with strength upright, it is really having the focus and the willpower to go through with anything. But when it's in reversed, it's like, you're sort of clueless. You're not really in line with understanding where you need to go, and that's where the weakness comes from, because if a spirit knows where it needs to go, it's a strong spirit. It has a directional focus, but when it's reversed, it doesn't have that. And then for the middle card, we have the World card reversed. So, things aren't coming to fulfillment. We'll feel like the world isn't the way we want it to look, the way we want it to be. And that's going to come down to our inner ability to harmonize with ourselves, right? It's going to come down to the Strength card. And the whole central thing that's making us feel weakened or feeling like we don't have a sense of strength or will is because the world around us isn't, pertaining to what we need in our life or where we want to go specifically. It's almost like the world it's like we all have like a unique potential, or we have a unique possibility or destiny that we need to fulfill, and the world around us just isn't equipped for that, and we kind of feel useless. We kind of feel like we're weakened, and we do have that 10 of Swords at the end here. So overall, at the end, we have, we're just going to be feeling stuck a bit. With this card, it's very much you're being edged to the ground. It's a lot of elements of betrayal as well. So, it's going to be a difficult month. I think this is the time to where, not to focus on aspects of that. That's why I'm saying to be nice to people, just in a general harmonizing way, because things that you say that even though you might mean well, or you're trying to help someone, or you're trying to be critical, could actually hurt someone or bring them down, push them down, and make them feel betrayed somehow. And I think that's going to be an aspect that we need to watch out for. And if it comes into our own life, just to sort of push through. I'm going to pull up one more card here as sort of a clarifier how to get through these blockages. And we have the Four of Cups reversed. So there's definitely something about reanalyzing something that's coming into our life, or aspects in our life that we might think aren't to our best interest, but they actually are. And I think this is going to be an aspect of just being open towards what's being given to us. And if we don't like it, then we just kind of have to accept it. And I think that's going to be a big struggle this month, is just accepting what the universe gives us and, utilizing that to its best benefit here. And this is definitely a month where we're going to see a lot of blockages, feeling stuck, feeling like we're not moving forward. But when you're in that state, it's the time to do the inner work. It's time to do the inner drive, and what you can do for yourself, not necessarily what you can do in the world, so to speak. And sorry, I'm just gonna share this live video, or try to. I don't know how YouTube changed some things. Here we go, share. I'm just going to share this on social media, and then we'll get right back into the reading. Pardon me for just a second here. Okay, so let's get on and start with those Libras here. So Libras, what do we have here for this season? I think with Libras, they're going to be having a lot more strengths, I would say, this month compared to the other signs. Not just because the sun is here, but just in terms of all the other aspects happening planetarily. They're getting, this is sort of their moment to shine. When, people are going through their own bullshit or feeling disharmonized, this is when the Libras come in and, fix things, not necessarily fix things from a Virgo perspective, like cleaning things out, but just organizing things in a way that's harmonious, that makes you feel good. It's not so much of just cleaning shit out just for the sake of it. It's more about building something, which is what Libras are generally pretty good at. So what do we have here for the Libras? Okay. Yep, so first card here is the Wheel of Fortune. So for Libras, there's definitely an aspect of things going with the flow for you that feels like you're just, in your life pretty much, just things are moving forward, things are going exactly as planned. When the Wheel of Fortune is upright, it's like timing, so to speak, because the Wheel of Fortune is like time, and everything that you sort of want or desire, not necessarily everything's like coming to fruition, all your dreams coming true, but you are aligned to your purpose, your destiny, what you want to achieve or what you want to strive after, or what you're receiving is in line with the universe. Your timing is on. It's like you've clicked into the matrix, so to speak, and you're sort of moving forward with that. So this is a really good card starting off here. And then you do have the Three of Wands reversed. So this is definitely a time to look into your inner destiny. I think that you're going to find that it might be difficult to sort of see the bigger picture in things. You might be focusing too much on like the small details and the small aspects of your life right now. And I think this is going to be a time to where you should take some time out of your day or whenever to just focus on your long-term plans, your long-term goals and long-term visions that you have for yourself. Because I think with this Wheel of Fortune, even though it's good, everything's clicking into you at the moment, there is going to be this long-term planning that you might be neglecting because you're sort of focused on this. It's not like an immediate gratification, but it's like you're focused on the present, which is a good thing. But then it's also, there is an aspect here that's saying like there is also time for you to look at the long term and see the long vision. And that's what I think is an aspect to focus on, but I'm not really feeling an intense month for Libras, so to speak. You do have the Six of Cups at the end here. So again, relating to childhood happiness. It's just what I'm seeing here is like a lot of like aspects relating to work. You've got to grind down, you're achieving something. And I think this is just really saying take some time out of your day when you're pushing through all that and achieving what you want to achieve and just enjoying the simple pleasures of life and looking at the long-term vision. And I think you're going to have a much more fruitful month for you. So let's get on to those Scorpios. Scorpios have been kind of mysterious lately. They've kind of been out of touch, I've noticed. All the Scorpios I know are kind of out of the loop a little bit, which is fine, but they're always kind of mysterious in their own way, but they do tend to wander off into their own respective caves or what have you. So let's see what we got here for those Scorpios. What have we got for the Scorpios? Okay. Yeah, so we're getting a lot of reversals in these readings, and this is very typical, I would say, of Mars retrograde, but, this is what is bringing to us. So we have the Magician reversed. So for Scorpios, this is definitely getting back in touch with your strengths and your powers, so to speak. That's what the Magician card represents, although everyone, we're not superheroes literally, although we do have very powerful skills, I would say, things that we're good at. So you're coming in here not feeling like you're good at anything, like you don't really have this sense of feeling that you have a power or a thing that you can attach yourself to. I think this is definitely something that's pertaining to the water signs a lot, is just feeling like you don't have this ability. That's what I'm noticing with people who I know that are water signs, is this desire to have like a special talent, a special thing that people have, especially on like social media. You have like the guy who's a doctor, and you have the musician, and you have just these like very niche markets and skill sets that you have that make you sort of special and unique. Like as a magician, you have these powers that you can sort of brag about, and you feel like you don't really have anything like that going on for you right now. And so this is definitely a difficult time to sort of focus back on that and focus on the things that you are good at and things that you can focus on achieving, so that you can be a magician again, so to speak. And then the center card is you do have the Page of Pentacles. So there is something about you understanding the way your material world works that's just not coming in. You feel blocked. You feel like there's no new circumstances in your life, no new pathways, no news, no nothing that's coming in your material world. And this is coming from the magician aspect of not feeling in line with, it's kind of like the collective reading, not feeling in line with your inner strengths and your inner passions and what you're good at, basically. And because of that, the world around you isn't responding to you. You're not getting the news you want to hear. And you do have the outcome here as the Six of Swords upright. So there is a new destination for you to go, and I think that, you know, you're sort of afraid to go to a new destination in your life or move forward into your life into something because you feel like you don't have these skills or these special talents that other people have, or you feel like you don't have the resources or the, you know, the opportunities, the physical, material opportunities that other people have. And I think this is just a time for you to just go with the flow, go with what feels right, even if you feel like you don't have those skills or you don't have those material objects. Just go with it anyway and see where it takes you. And this could be even in a relationship too. Like you could be seeing someone and you feel like you're not good enough for them, and they have so much that you're not receiving from them. And you kind of just have to go with where your heart is and trust the process, trust with where you're going. And I think this is what the card represents, because it's, you know, you feel neglected and sad about the past and where the past took you. And this is the opportunity to go to somewhere new, even though it feels like you don't have any opportunities showing up for you from yourself and from the world. And I think that's something you need to look at and refocus on. And I think that'll be important for you. All right. Let's move on here to the Sagittariuses. Oh, those Sagittariuses. Because I'm a Sagittarius, so this is my special reading. I'll probably pull an extra card just for me because I'm the one doing this tarot reading. Just kidding. I only do extra cards if there's like a really bad reading or something that's like confusing that I'm not really understanding. But, you know, usually when it's for myself, or my sign specifically, I have a difficult time understanding for it. But I'm going to do it anyway. So let's see what we got for Sagittarius here. What have we got here for those Sagittariuses? All right. All right, here we go. So first up is the Tower card here. So there's some kind of big change happening in your life, whether you like it or not. Something just out of the blue, like a lightning strike. And, you know, and this is something that's just going to it's going to take you by surprise, and you're just going to have to deal with the situation. And this could come, you know, just in any aspect of your life pretty much. And I think this is something that you can't really prepare for because it is the first card. So it's like coming in right in hot is a situation that's, you know, you're just going to have to take responsibility for it. And you do have the Page of Wands. So this is definitely going to be affecting your visions, your long-term visions, your ideals, your ideologies, your religious, your spiritual beliefs, and feeling like nothing in that is making sense or understanding. You're not getting the message that you want to receive. And you're going to feel lost in that regard, lost in terms of your ideas and your visions. And it's a lot to do with destiny and spirituality, right? So, you know, any kind of idea that you thought was going to be this certain way, or anything that you thought was going to be a certain way, or what have you, it's going to feel muddy, and you're not really going to have a lot of understanding. But you do have the strength upright at the end here. So there is an element of strength. There is an element of being able to push through this. And I think that's, you know, a good thing to hold on to, is having the strength, having the inner strength to sort of deal with the situation, having the stoicism, I would say. And I think this is a pretty simple reading, although it might be like intense for some people. It's, you know, it's pretty standard in terms of how you deal with the situation. You're going to have to deal with something that's going to catch you by surprise, make you feel like your beliefs aren't lining up, nothing makes sense, and you're just going to have to sort of deal with it, push through it. There's nothing really more to say other than that, but just to prepare for something like that if it does turn up for you. And I think that with Sagittarius, especially with the South Node here, there is a lot of aspects of delusion. The South Node sort of paints a picture for you of what you want to believe, but it's not actually getting there into the direction that you want to go. So it leaves you very empty, confused, and this is a time to where people who are Sagittarius, who want to have those Sagittarian qualities and engage in them, they start finding that they lose more than they gain by engaging in that, even though that's part of who they are. It's part of understanding that who we are based off our astrological sign isn't who we actually are, who we actually need to be at any given moment. Overly identifying with yourself is good to some degree, and then it becomes a negative to another degree, and that's kind of what the South Node teaches us when it goes through our signs. And I think this is going to be a month, especially with Mars retrograde, with all these other aspects that's happening, it's going to be affecting you in a way that's, it's just going to be a bit harsh and unpredictable, I would say. So let's get on to the Capricorns. What do we got on for those Capricorns here? The serious business people to take over the world. So we do have Saturn coming direct. Right now it's stopped. It's coming direct like next week on the 30th, I believe, or the 1st of October. I'm not sure. And that's going to start changing things up because that is your ruling, planet. So, once it gets into Aquarius, things are definitely going to change for you, especially in your physical, identification of yourself. That's definitely going to take a shift, but that's only going to happen at the end of December. But now that it's going direct, it's almost like you're going on the destiny, you're going on the path soon. And this is where you're going to start seeing the changes in yourself and the changes in your identity of who you're supposed to be, and seeing the lessons sort of come to their fruition. And that's what Saturn always has at the end of each transit in each sign. It has a lesson to give you, and I think that's going to be something to watch out for, especially for all the Capricorns out there. All right, what have we got here for those Capricorns? Okay. Alright, so this is the first time that we're seeing everything upright, which is ironic considering I was talking about, Saturn going direct, coming out of retrograde. So anytime a reversal it's kind of like a retrograde, so to speak. So so the first card here is you got the Seven of Swords upright. So there's something about you not being completely honest about something, kind of sneaking around, kind of being a little bit mischievous, I would say. There is definitely an aspect here of kind of, I don't want to say it's lying to yourself, but this is kind of a weird card. It's always kind of something that I never really fully have a grasp on, because it is dealing with yourself or with other people, and it is dealing with, just being generally dishonest about something. And I think that's something to take a look at in your own life, starting off here, because you do have the Queen of Cups in the middle here. So there is this deeper understanding emotionally that you have. You definitely know what you want emotionally. You definitely know what you want to feel. And I think this is going to be something to tap into. And I think, because we do have the Six of Wands at the end here, which is dealing with success and ceremony and being admired in a way, being recognized for your talents and what you've done. It's definitely a good outcome to have here, especially with you have the Queen of Cups. You know what you want emotionally, you know what you want to feel, and you have that authority of feeling it, I guess you would call it. But you do have this Seven of Swords here, this mischievous thing that's coming in here. So I think this is just something to look out for, to not be deceptive to yourself, to not be, how should I put this? To not lie to yourself emotionally. And I think that's important. You have the sense of authority that's coming in here as a central focus. And I think that if you're spending too much time being dishonest with yourself, saying like, oh, I can do this, I can get away with doing this, or I don't need to do that. I think that's what a lot of the Seven of Swords is. It's like, it's making false promises almost. It's like, oh yeah, I'll take care of this situation, and then you don't really do that. I think this is a time for honesty. That's what this Queen of Cups upright is saying. And if you do have that honesty, you will be admired. People will sort of praise you in a sense. Not necessarily like worshiping or necessarily, but there is an aspect here of being recognized for what you've done. And I think that's important once you attribute to the sense of honesty and understanding of yourself and not falling into these mental traps, these rationalizing aspects of yourself. I think that's what this really is all about, is, you know, when people start over rationalizing things of bad behaviors, like, oh, I should do this, and then, but you really know deep down that, no, I shouldn't do that. That's not good for me. That's not healthy. I shouldn't say that to that person. I shouldn't do this to that person. That's when you really start to get recognized for and what you really want. I think that's important, is having that honesty. Okay, moving on to the Aquariuses. The Aquariuses. What have we got for those people? What have we got for the Aquarius? Sorry. What have we got for the Aquarius? Okay. All right, here we go. It's a lot of power here that I'm seeing here. You do have justice reversed. So you're coming in feeling like there's no justice in the world. And it isn't that fitting to being in Libra where things need to be harmonized. So this is definitely feeling like, you know, you don't have justice in your life, but you do have these two powerful cards back to back here. King of Wands upright and the Knight of Wands upright. So definitely coming into whatever you believe in, whatever you, in terms of any kind of belief, spiritual belief, your ideas, your passions, what you really want to achieve in the world, your inner fire, whatever that is and whatever that's calling to you, that's the path you need to take. That's the rocket ship to achieving justice, I'd say. And I think that's an important path to take. And I think this is a pretty simple reading, is to have the authority to go forward into your dreams, into your visions, into your passions. And, you know, don't get caught up in feeling like the world is unjust, because the more you stick with this, the more you're neglecting these two other aspects of yourself. And I think that's where you're going to find a lot of strength, especially as this Mars is in retrograde. I'm definitely seeing a lot of senses here of having the authority to get what you want, because, you know, it's like, how do I say this? With Mars here, that's coming in retrograde, I feel like for Aquariuses, it's like pushing everyone back, but it's almost, in a sense, giving you the fuel that you need to sort of move forward in your own life. It's almost like, because Aquarius is fixed air, right? It's a lot of concentrated energy. It's very fixed. It's like electricity, and it's kind of what fire, because Mars is in Aries, it's a fire sign, right? It's its ruling house. And it's almost like being condensed for Aquariuses into like this electrical power for you. Even though the outside world here is unjust, there's no justice, there's no balance in the world, you have the power to sort of move forward. And I think Aquariuses I see a lot of responsibility for Aquariuses this season. I see a lot of people who are Aquarians and have Aquarian energies have the responsibility now to sort of push forward with their strengths and their passions and their ideas. I think this is going to be a month where Aquariuses are going to start shining a little bit more, and having that sort of leadership, which I think is going to be necessary for a lot of people. So a lot of people who might be dealing with a lot of inner work, I think this is a time for Aquariuses to be more active, more engaged, and I think that's where they're going to find a lot of strengths, so to speak. So I'm going to leave it at that for the Aquariuses. And remember, with great strength, or with great power, comes great responsibility. All right, let's move on to the Pisces people, those wacky fish that are always flopping about there. So what do we got here for the Pisces? Pisces also, like along with Scorpio and Cancer, it's just all the water signs. They're all been out of it. Like they don't post on social media. They're not talking to anyone. They're just kind of off in their own world. No one really knows what's going on. And, this is a time where I think the water signs need to really, I don't know, maybe they're not done being in their isolated thing. I don't know, with that Scorpio reading was kind of the same stuff. So maybe, I don't know, Pisces, we'll have to see. So what do we have here for the Pisces? Okay, so you're definitely not feeling recognized for anything. This is definitely a theme that's coming up. It's recognition in general, but you're definitely, you're not feeling appreciated. Like you don't feel like other people recognize you for who you are or what you've done. You feel like you're just kind of, useless, I would say. But you do have this King of Swords as your central component. And with this here, it's, this is your guiding light. This is where you need is to have the ability to see things logically, and I think with the authority to see things logically, to see things as they are. And I think that's where Pisces have a lot of difficulty, and I think this is where they need to start applying that sense of strength, because they get lost in their emotions and their feelings and the deeper connections and all this other crap, and they lose their connection to just thinking rationally and having the authority to go forward with that. And I think this is definitely a time to, I don't want to say neglect your emotions, but it's a time to start seeing things a lot more logically and level-headed and command your authority that way. But you do have the sun reversed, so don't be cold. Don't be, overly pragmatic about things. Don't lose that inner sense of self, that inner joy, the inner happiness. But I think that is definitely going to be something that might be sacrificed a bit if you want to see things objectively, because I think when you spend too much time in this emotional front, you're just going to feel very neglected and feeling unappreciated, because you're focusing too much on your emotional connections to things, and everything right now is deeply affecting our emotions with this Mars retrograde and Mercury retrograde coming up and all this squares and all this other shit that's happening. Is definitely just to take the step back and command your authority through logic and reasoning. Don't meddle in your emotions. I think that's going to be something that's going to be holding you back, and to find the strength in your ability to see things rationally. I think that's going to be a very important theme for this upcoming month, and to not, completely let go of yourself and your emotional connections and your joy and your inner child and whatever you want to call it. You don't have to become a robot. Like, I think that's going to be something to also keep in mind, but I think mainly the most important thing is seeing things rationally, and this is sort of more of a side effect of what you need to do and what you need to accomplish. So let's move on here to Aries here. Aries got a lot of big things having to deal with. Oh boy, Mars retrograde and going on top of Chiron on top of that in your sign. That's we're gonna have to see what's in store for you, because there definitely is a lot here. So what have we got for those Aries? What have we got here? One more little shuffle here. Oh, they started construction outside again. All right, Aries, what do we got? Oh, here we go. So, you're coming in like a fool. And I'm definitely seeing a lot of Aries do this, is they kind of think that everything's fine, everything's dandy, everything in their life is going great, and it's just all positivity, but they're being stupid. They're not seeing the big picture and the work that's going to be needed to done, the things that are going to happen, because you do have the Devil card as the central component and the Ten of Swords reversed at the end of that. So this is definitely going to be a month where you're just going to have to deal with an attachment issue. Whatever you're attached to, whatever's demonic in your life. And when I say demonic, it's things that attach you to things, whether that's like an addiction problem, whether that's a connection with someone else, you feel attached to someone else, or you feel attached to a lifestyle or a mode of living, or just a mental pattern or mindset or an emotional aspect. There's going to be an aspect you're going to have to deal with this month. And, with this Ten of Swords reversed, this is definitely a good thing, because this is coming out of those situations, coming out of this feeling of being like stuck in the ground. But there is that aspect that this is what you're going to be feeling like. And, it's going to be a difficult month. I'm going to pull another card here for Aries, because it is their big Mars retrograde in their sign. And you have the Tower reversed. So, I think this is definitely coming down to a moment of a breakdown, if I'm going to be honest. And I think this is something to be careful for, and don't avoid it, because if you feel like you're on the verge of a breakdown or something, you need to deal with it. You need to deal with that attention. Don't be an idiot. Don't be a fool. Don't avoid, because the Tower reverse, it's like there's a moment here of lightning striking and you're not dealing with it. There's an explosion coming here and you're not dealing with that. And I'm going to say, like, this is definitely a time to deal with those inner demons, deal with that inner crap that you're not dealing with, and, take yourself out of these traps that are pushing you back, that are holding you down. That's really all I can say here. And don't delay anything. Do not hold anything down. Don't be the fool and keep going with the same story, thinking that it'll just disappear magically. It's going to be there. And the more you hold it in, the worse it's going to get. And I think this is definitely an important time to deal with those situations here and to let go of the trapments that are keeping you down into the ground. So, good luck, Aries. I wish you the best. So, let's get on to the bulls. The bulls. With those Tauruses. I think Tauruses are going to have a more chill time here. I think last season, I forget what the Taurus season was last month, but I think it was a little more stressful last month, and they might be having a bit of an easier time, but we'll have to see. It's just what I'm picking up here on my, astrology shit, my mental magic, whatever you want to call it. All right, let's get into it. Taurus. Ah, fuck. I hate when you're shuffling and the cards don't shuffle properly. Maybe that's a theme for Taurus, is you're trying to do something, but it's just not happening. We'll see. Trying to do a simple task, but it's just not working. I don't know, is that a theme? We'll have to see. Alright. Yep, here we go. So you have the Wheel of Fortune reversed, so things aren't working in your, what you really want. Things aren't aligned. The timing is off, and that's literally what just happened here. I was trying to shuffle, and it just kept not really, fixing together. So the timing's off. You're feeling like just everything you're trying to get organized is just not coming through. There's delays, there's this, there's that. Just there's no timing involved here. And you're feeling very stuck in that realm. But you do have the Hierophant in the middle as your central thing. So it's definitely to have a sense of authority in your beliefs and what you want spiritually, having a system put in place for you of your beliefs, not necessarily just having wild ideas of what you want to achieve and what you want to move forward in, but having a rigorous system of what you're doing. Like every morning you have your ritual and you have your schedule that you're keeping. And this is like a spiritual schedule. So if you want to think of it like in Judaism, every Saturday you have to rest on the Sabbath, and that's a big thing. For you, it is relating to spirituality. With the Hierophant, it is that systematic place put in that helps you to, how should I put it? It helps you organize your ideas, helps you organize your visions and your spiritual quest, if you want to call it. It helps to put it into a rigid system that you need to have authority over, because the outside world and your circumstances or waiting for things to come in is just not happening, and you need to just build a system to where you can, you know, grow your ideas in a concrete fashion and not get caught up in timing of things. I think if you're trying to focus on timing or trying to do things in a sense of trying to get it in an organized fashion or timing, it's not going to work. You need to do things on a more spiritual plane. And I think that's might be difficult because Tauruses don't, you know, they're very fixed. They're fixed earth. It's very grounded as a sign. It's probably the most earth-like of all the signs, so to speak. So, you know, definitely that's going to be difficult, but I feel like with Hierophant, building a system for you is great for Tauruses because it deals with the material world. It's like, okay, like I want to understand the aspects of the universe and understand God. It's like, it's really hard to do that, but if you can have a fixed system, like, okay, I rest on Saturday, I eat only these certain foods, it's like, okay, I can deal with that. It's very Taurian of religions, and that's kind of what's important for you, I would say. And then you do have the Two of Swords reversed at the end here, which I'm not putting much mind to. It's just being able to make decisions, know what's right and wrong. And I think if you just focus on that spiritual system that you need to put into play, you're not going to have that confusion. And I think if you're focusing on the outside world and circumstances and things coming to fruition and things timing out to perfectly for you, or you're expecting things to work out for you, you're just going to be lost and confused and torn between two different situations. I think this is also, if you have that spiritual alignment and spiritual quest laid out for you, you're going to have an easier time making decisions. And I think that's what this Wheel of Fortune is. It's like it's almost giving you two different sides of a coin that seem like the same thing. And if you don't have an inner authority, of inner understanding, of inner spirituality, or whatever you want to call it, you're going to be torn in a misunderstanding of aspects and not being able to make good decisions. So definitely watch out for this. Although I won't put much stress on that one. I think the major one is Wheel of Fortune, and the Hierophant is the main aspect to put your strength into. All right, let's get on to the Geminis here. What have we got for the Geminis? The Gemini twins who do their little dance. Okay. What have we got for Geminis? Geminis have been like busybodies. I think with Virgo, it was a good time for them to sort of really be in their element. And with the North Node here, now that the Venus retrograde is kind of finished, there's definitely a lot more focus in on the Gemini aspects of being able to figure things out. They're kind of the ones, I feel like Geminis are the ones kind of working the most at the moment. I mean, it's hard to say that because who knows what people are doing with their lives, but definitely there is a tendency for Geminis feeling pressured to work more on themselves, or just work in general, just work on whatever they're doing in their life. I think there's like a lot of pressure in that regard right now for the Geminis, because you do have Saturn and all that shit that's going on in Capricorn quincunxing it, and that's just giving it an extra power boost of Gemini there. And the same thing with Leos too, but Leos is, you know, they don't have the North Node, they didn't have the Venus retrograde, you know, they don't have those same kind of aspects there. It's also fire, so it's a different dynamic. All right, let's see what we got here for those Geminis. Excuse me. Okay. All right, so definitely a lot of powerful cards here for the Geminis here, because you got the Chariot coming in, and you're just pushing forward into this destiny that you want to achieve, and you're just moving forward with that, and it's like you're nonstop basically. And that's what Geminis are pretty much feeling right now, is this sense of feeling nonstop. But there is this Nine of Pentacles reversed, so ultimately you still don't feel that sense of fulfillment. You don't feel like you've gotten that like pride, and I think that's why you're working so hard and striving so hard into this destiny that you're trying to go towards, is because you still you don't feel an abundance. You don't feel an abundance in yourself materially, in the world. You just feel like you're going on this endless quest, and you know, you feel motivated, but you're definitely feeling empty here. in terms of the fulfillment. You're not getting what you really want. And you know, this is an element with the North Node. It's like the North Node, it's like you're striving towards it, but there's nothing there. It's just it's like the dragon's head. There's no body to it. And this is you feeling like you're not getting what you want, but you do have the Hierophant at the end here. So again, with like the Tauruses, it's the outcome here is being able to just build that system for yourself, go forward with the Chariot, and just have that system put in place that helps you push yourself forward, so that way you're not sort of meandering, I would say, which I don't think is going to be a problem here. I'm actually just going to pull up another card for Geminis here, just to sort of see you know, what direction they can go in to feel more financially or materially satisfied here. And you do have the Two of Pentacles reversed. So anything that feels off balance materially, whatever you're doing in your material world, juggling a lot of responsibilities in your life, whatever is throwing you off balance, just get rid of it. Like, just don't even deal with it. Like, if it's not on the main path of where you need to go, you know, just don't focus your energy on that kind of stuff, especially with like work. If there's just like situations you want to deal with, like little bullshit situations that people like expect you to do, and you just know it's a waste of time, and you know that it's not going to solve anything, and someone else will just take care of it anyway, just don't do it. Don't feel like you need to take responsibility because you are the one who's like, I guess, more responsible, or you feel like other people are going to handle it. I think this is definitely a time to where, you know, you need to just sort of let those things go and focus on what you need to actually do. And if someone else is just not doing that, then just fuck it. Like, it's not your responsibility. I think you're just taking responsibility for things that aren't your responsibility, and you're getting distracted by that, I think. And I think that's really what's going to be holding you back from achieving abundance. But this is also going to just be a theme that you're just going to have to kind of deal with. And, you know, to alleviate those kinds of symptoms, the best way I would say is to, just don't focus your attention on bullshit tasks and bullshit responsibilities that just, you know that you're not really supposed to do, but you feel obligated to do them anyway. I think that's important, to focus on the Chariot, the important quest, the main storyline. Don't focus on the side quests that you don't need to do just because you feel like you need to do it because you need to complete the game or whatever. But you know, you're not going to feel satisfied if you're wasting your time on the side quests when there's this big mission, this big main quest for you that you're kind of ignoring. Not necessarily all the time, but maybe sometimes you get distracted. So let's move on to the Cancers here. What have we got here for the Cancers? And something just popped out of the deck, and we have the Four of Pentacles. So I'm going to put that in the background here. That's the first time we had one of those pop-out cards. Cancer's got some shit that they're holding on to. I don't know what. They need to let go. Or maybe they need to protect something. We'll have to see what this reading entails. It is upright, so I feel like this is more about being secure and managing your resources, not being frivolous, I would say. So what have we got here for those wacky Cancers? Okay. All right, all reversals, so that's lovely. So you have the Knight of Pentacles reversed. That's the first one. So there definitely is an aspect where you're not moving forward in your material life, and this is definitely like coming into this Four of Pentacles upright here. Is you're just holding on to something material. You're not moving forward. You're not putting your material possessions to work. And I'm seeing this like mainly with money too. It's almost like you got a bunch of money and you're just not spending it almost. It doesn't necessarily have to be money, but there's definitely something materially in your world that you're just not using. It's like you're almost afraid to engage with this material opportunity in your life, and you're just kind of holding on to it, but not really moving forward, if that makes sense. And like, I just feel like you're not moving forward with your material values, and not going towards that. I think you're stuck too much on holding on to it. And you do have the Hermit reversed. So, I feel like, yeah, it's like with all the water signs, they're just out of the loop. And I think this is affecting the Cancers the most, probably. And I think this is definitely a time to get out of hiding, get out of hibernation mode. I think you've closed yourself off from the world long enough, and it's time to get out there. You do have the Page of Cups reversed also, and because you feel like there's, you need like this new emotional opportunity, new emotional feeling, and this is just also not happening, and you're just really stuck. And I'm feeling this a lot just coming from you, just as a person. You are just not moving forward in life. You're just holding on to this mode of living that's just not really, it's not going anywhere. You're not getting any emotional fulfillment. You're not getting the cup. You're not filling your cup up. And you're just isolated from the world. I don't know. I'm just seeing Cancers just sort of huddled in their bedroom, just, smoking a lot of weed and just sitting moping on their bed all day and not getting anywhere. I think this is very important to where they need to sort of start getting out of those situations and just moving forward. That's all I can really say. It's a pretty simple read. You're just you're closing yourself off, and it's not healthy. It's not making you happy either, and I think that's going to be an issue to deal with. All right, let's get on to those Leos, those lions. What have we got for the lions? I was going to say something, I forget though. What have we got here? What have we got here? And for the person who commented Ice Cold Official, I don't know if he's still in here, or her, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's with the North Node here in Gemini. I think that he's Gemini. She, he, or they, whatever. Gemini, it's like with North Node there is, there is this distant thing you're trying to chase after, but it feels very far away. And with South Node and Sagittarius, that's where you start people focusing on, beliefs and going on big adventures and big traveling. Like you think you need to travel across the world to get to what you want in life, or you feel like you need to have faith and believe that it's going to happen to you. And, where I'm seeing the Hierophant pop up, it's like, no, you need to have a system in place. You need to be organized. It's, you don't have to travel across the world to get what you want. You could actually find what you're looking for just down the street. You have to be a little bit more curious. And that's with Gemini. Gemini is very curious. And this is easier for Geminis, but that's more pressure put on them. And for Sagittarius is like me, it's difficult because anytime I get into thought patterns of just having beliefs or thinking I can do everything at once or not focusing on one thing at a time, or thinking I need to travel somewhere new to get what I want, those are the things that are going to hold me back and make me realize that I'm not going to get anything I want, really. But I feel more comfortable, so to speak, in those states than a Gemini would, because Gemini is naturally inclined to be more curious and more logic-minded. But I'm talking too much about Geminis here. This is Leos I need to focus on. So what have we got here for the Leos? Okay. Alright, so this is interesting. You do have the High Priestess reversed. So this is dealing with like intuition, not really feeling understanding of things on an intuitive level. You feel like your mojo's off almost. Just your ability to understand things on an intuitive level is just sort of paralyzed right now, and you feel like a fool. You feel like an idiot, but it's reversed. So I think that, you're not as stupid as you think you are. And I think you're going to start feeling that way this upcoming month. You're going to feel really stupid. But you do have the Nine of Cups upright at the end here. So, overall, I think that, I feel like Leos are going to have a pretty chill month. I'm not really seeing anything intense popping up here that's worth noting. I think that you are going to feel this emotional gratification towards the end here. If you just don't, think too much of yourself as an idiot just because your intuition is kind of off or feeling weird, I feel like this is definitely a time to where, you know, if you feel stupid or you feel like you don't know anything, just sort of let go of that and sort of take pride in what you do know, what you do have. I think with Leos, you know, you're going to have issues with pride because you feel stupid, but ultimately it comes down to your own perception of yourself. And I think you're going to find better outcomes for yourself if you just, you know, maintain that confidence in yourself and not really focus on your intuition or your ability to understand things on an emotional level, or just feeling like you're just not engaged, you're not understanding of things, the world just doesn't make sense, you just feel like you're wandering about in this crazy world and you're just lost and confused. But you know what, just keep a strong face and just be like, yeah, you know what, I'm just doing what I gotta do and fuck it. Like, you know, don't get caught up into feeling stupid or feeling dumb or whatever. I think that's just the main problem here. But overall, not really seeing much for Leos personally. Nothing intense, I would say. Just don't get into thought patterns of self-hatred or anything like that. I feel like that's mainly what to focus on. All right, we're going to close off with the Virgos, of course. And those wacky Virgos, I don't know, they've been dealing with some shit. Most Virgos I know anyway have been dealing with some inner demons. And I think this is going to be a month where things hopefully change. We'll have to see here. Let's see what we got here for those Virgos. I don't know why I'm sneezing so much. Okay. So, you know, Six of Cups upright, you're not really in touch with your inner child, not feeling that inner joy, so to speak. It's definitely an aspect here where you need to get back in touch with your childhood. I think this is definitely a time for Virgos to start self-reflecting on their childhood, because there is like a heartbreak kind of thing, or just pains in your heart that you're not really dealing with here. And this could be romantically, this could just be anything in life, really, that's just gnawing at your heart, or feeling like you're just stuck and there's just like a lot of heart pain. And you do have the Fool reversed. I'm going to end up pulling another card here because this is kind of confusing here, but you know, there is an aspect here of, yeah, I'm just going to directly pull up a card here because I'm not really understanding it. The World reversed. So, you know, I guess with the Fool reversed, like the Leos, and, you know, you just feel like an idiot, and you're hung up on a lot of past trauma and past pain, especially dealing with childhood. Whatever trauma or pain that you're dealing with here, you know, I think if you focus on it too much, you're just not going to get anywhere, and you're not going to end up feeling fulfilled. I think that's really what the main theme is here. I'm pulling up another card here, how to get through this, dealing with this pain here. And you have Justice reversed. So, yeah, you know, whatever's not fair in the world, you kind of just have to just accept what's not fair, accept that the world is not fair. And I think this is going to be a difficult month for you to recognize that, and I think it's going to be important for you to recognize it, because you do have Neptune here that's opposing you, and with the Mars retrograde and everything. So there is a lot of here that's kind of like fucking with your world and fucking with your feelings. And yeah, I think this is just a time to really accept that. And I think it's going to be a difficult month to accept, you know, difficulties in life, and to move forward from that, difficult things in your past that are just going to be popping up. And I think it's going to be something that you just have to start accepting to move forward from. And I think there's no real easy way to answer that. There's no magic potion, there's no magic pill to take that'll just alleviate all the pain. I think this is just going to take a lot of time of accepting, and a lot of time of acceptance that the world isn't perfect for you. So I am going to close off for this reading, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.